everybody, it's Tmika. I am here to share with you a mixed media card. It's very similar to the one that I created for the card swap for the Scrapbook Expo. A few of you have asked for the tutorial for it, and here it is. It's a super easy and quick card that you can put together. There's no pad or paper. It's really just your mixed media supplies and cardstock. So this is what it is, a standard A2 size card. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I take you through the process of making this this whole card, texture, how to color the sea beads, how to color, you know, all that other stuff, the drippies, the spritz, the flicks, all of that. So it's a really easy card to make. This one just says sending lots of love. I don't know why you can see it in person, but here it's very faint. But I used a embossing powder, so really cute card. So that's what we're going to make today, and let's go ahead and get started. If you make this, I would love for you to show me how yours turned out, either on Instagram or Facebook, even if you do a YouTube video or what have you. I'd love to see it. Follow me on social media. It's in the description box, and let's go ahead and go to the tutorial. Okay, starting us out with some supplies that we'll need. Of course, you don't have to use what I'm using, but you can find comparable items in your stash. So yeah, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, and you'll find your shortcuts along the way. Okay, so you'll need some adhesive, whether you use wet or dry. I'm using double-sided tape to put my card together. And then you'll need a heat tool. And then you'll need some kind of tray or plastic bowl or styrofoam bowl, something to put your paint in, so when you can make your little splatter mix, you'll have something to put that in. You'll need some paintbrushes. I get mine from the Dollar Tree. They come in like a pack of 6 in the kids' art section. And then I'm using seed beads, and then also some flatback pearls, and I have them here somewhere. Some flatback pearls I'll probably use. And then you need a stamp, some type of sentiment, whatever you're going to use for your sentiment. Of course, stamp block. You need some clear embossing ink. I'm using some mint julep embossing powder. And then for the inks, you need whatever color combo you're going to use. I'm using this Recollections in this aqua color and this Dilutions in this purple color. They go great together. You need a stencil, of course, bone folder, some score tool. I'm using a paper flower instead of making a paper flower today because I don't have my hot glue gun. And a color, whatever color, a coordinating marker. I am using molding paste. You can also use the stuff from the Dollar Tree, which I normally use, I don't have with me now, and it's spackle. I think it's like $1 or $2 and at your dollar store, but I'm using molding paste here. And gesso, you can just use regular white paint. I'm using, this is fantastic glazing glue, but glossy accents work well as well. Some black paint, some black thread. This is just water in a container. And I cut out some butterflies on Google, or printed out some butterflies on Google, and then I didn't have my registration mark set, so these particular ones are not pre-cut, so I just fussy cut them out because I didn't want to waste this ink. So I just fussy cut out one of the coordinating butterflies, and then I have my little label that I'm going to put on the back of my card when I get done. As for the papers that you need, the base is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 that I'm going to fold to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then you need 2 pieces of, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing, white cardstock at 4 by 5 1/4. You need a piece of coordinating, whichever one of your inks you want to pick. They're coordinated. I'm picking off this turquoise color. And this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then 3 pieces of, I'm using chipboard. You could use a spatula, something to lift out your paste, your molding paste. And then for these tiny, this is for to hold your sentiment. You need your biggest piece to be 1 1/8 by 4. And then you'll need the second biggest to be 1 by 3 7/8, and then 7/8 by 3 3/4. It's basically just cascading down by 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so let's get started. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is protect my viewing surface. I'm just using a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock pack, and then I'm going to use this stencils by Dilution. And then I got it from Tuesday Morning. Any stencil you pick is fine. And I'm just going to take, I'm just using, like I said, I'm just using a little bit of this chipboard. And I'm going to grab a glob. Yes, I said a glob. And I'm going to put it all on this paper. Take my excess off. This card is really easy and fast. And I just want the thinnest layer. I want to cover up all the holes, but I want the thinnest layer. So I'm scraping off the excess. Okay, and put that back. I can throw this away. And then I'm just going to carefully take this off. Ah, so cute. Put that to the side for now. And let me show you. That's what it looks like. Love that texture, see? Love it. So what I'm going to do is put this to the side. I'm going to grab another sheet of cardstock so the paper doesn't get wet. I'm going to put this to the side and let it dry while we do other things. If it's not dry, we can always tap it with the heat tool when we get done. Okay, so now that that part's done, we can go ahead and get our sentiment and things stamped. So let me get another sheet of protective paper, my embossing powder, my embossing pad, and I'm going to take the smallest piece, the white piece that I used, or that I cut up earlier for the sentiment. Okay. And I'm going to make this a generic card, so I'm just going to put sending lots of love. I don't know what stamp set this is. Sorry. I think it may be like artsy something from Michael's, and it came with a die, but I'm not sure. Alright. So I'm going to put that on here. Oops. On my stamp block. Okay. And then I'm going to just get everything ready to go. Stamp it in my embossing ink a few times. And then stamp it there. Okay. I'm going to throw my embossing powder over the top. Let that marinate a little bit. Okay. And then let's pull this up. I'm going to take my excess and put it back in my jar. Close that up because I have been known to drop that. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is just take my heat tool and heat that up. Okay. That's done. It's pretty bright in here, but it's a pretty color. So I'm going to add some tape to the back of that and then layer that onto my coordinating cardstock. I'm just going to add one little piece here. So this is what we should have so far. It's very fair. It looks very fair on the camera, but it isn't. So take your base cardstock, fold that in half so you can make a nice photo mat, and then get the white piece and add that to the inside, because unless the recipient can see on black cardstock, and where you're writing with a white pen, you kind of need a base. All right. Okay. It goes there. All right, and then I'm going to take that aqua color that I matched up with the where the sentiment is, and one side of this is textured, like the front of this. It doesn't have to be textured, but if you don't have any textured cardstock, you can always run it through your embossing folder to add texture. But in this instance, it's really not a necessity because it's going to be covered with the white mixed media stuff that we're doing anyway. Okay, we're going to lay this right down dead center as best we can. Give that a crease. And we're done with that. Now you can always add a stamp of sentiment here if you want. I'd add it now if you want, if something is coordinating, you know, something different that you want from this front. I'm not going to. That's enough for me. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is make our seed beads. Now you can wait until you get done with your card to do this, but you know, just in case you want to just see what it looks like, but I'm allowing that to dry a little bit, and I know that I want to color these seed beads. So I just added a couple of seed beads. These came from the Michael's dollar bin, and I know I want them to be aqua colored. I'm using this one, so I'm going to spray that inside this container a couple times. Let that sit. I'm going to stir it with the end of one of my old paint brushes. Make sure they all get in there really good. All color really good. Then I'm going to hit it with the heat tool. Okay, I hit it till it was semi-dry, just to allow the color at the bottom kind of to adhere more to the beads. Okay, so that's done. Now let's go and color our flatback pearls. Since I don't have any purple flatback pearls, I'm going to use these Prima markers. And then one is a very fine tip. I only need a few. And that's not going to work. So it's too light. So I'm going to use this one. And this is Prima A72. And I'm just going to color a couple rows of these markers. Just like that. I mean, a couple rows of these flatback pearls. And I kind of let it sit for a minute. Depending on how dark you want it, you keep going. I do 2 levels so far, and then I'm going to finish up with 3 levels there. Alright, so you should have something that looks like that. Super easy. Alright, and the last thing we're going to do before we go to our card is color the flowers. Now on my other card I used paper flowers. And I'm not sure what color I want to go with. I'm just going to do one in the purple and one in the green. And then we'll decide which one we want when we get done with the card. Spray that one. And that's pretty heavy there. Spray that one. And then I'm going to hit it with the heat tool. Okay, there we go. That purple one is so pretty. See, so cute. All right, done with that. Now let's head back over to see what our card is looking like with the texture. And it's tacky, just a tip, like it's tapped, almost dry. But I'm going to hit it with the heat tool so we can hurry this along. Okay, now we're all nice and dry. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to distress my edges a little bit. Just, of course, just for an added texture. I'm just literally scraping or raking across the edges of the card. Not really tearing a whole bunch, just like the card is a little bit distressed. Using the back of my scissors. Like that. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is grab your colors, whichever, colors you're going to use. And like I said, I'm using this Recollections green shimmer, and then this Dilutions After Midnight. So what I do is I take the lid off, and then I literally just drop. Be careful not to waste it because it's possible. Just make the drops go. Heavy, get a nice drop, and then let it shake it, bounce it, and let it fall. You can do it with the lid, with the top, or you can dip your paintbrush in it and let it go that way. You'll get a bigger chunk of wetness if you do it that way too. And just let it run. Just put the drops where you want them to go and let it run. Don't be scared. So see how it's running? Gravity. You can also, shake them up a bit and let them go different ways. Down the maze. See, there we got that. It's cute. So I'm actually going to finish this one all the way down. Alright. Put the top back on that for now, and then I'm just going to kind of wipe off this brush a little bit and do the same thing with this purple one. Dip it in there and let it fall. If you find that it's not falling to your liking, put it in a separate container and add water to it. It'll drip. Or if you don't want the color to be as intense as the ink is. Look at that. You can also add a little water to the card to make it run a little bit more. Of course, my sprayer would not be working in that. Just add a dap of water if you want to rush it along. And then I'm going to hit this with the heat tool. That's what I have so far, and I love it. Now you can always too add like a stamp if you want. If you have like a texture stamp or something, like, if I was getting dots. Let's try it and see how that looks. I'm going to use some Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm just going to randomly dab it just a little bit. I'm going to do a test. And then I'll stamp it on top. And just add some texture to the card. See? Super cute. We want to add our tape to the back, because I think we're done with the wet. We just have the seed beads, and it's going to be hard to add adhesive after that. So you get the double-sided tape and add it to the back of the card, or whatever adhesive that you're using. Right dead center. There. It started out so cute. You can leave it there if you want, and just leave it. Okay, so we want to add the string now. Okay, and I'm just using some thread, and I just tie a bunch around my fingers till I get a good amount. Oh, where is it at? Where is it at? All right. And then I just literally just kind of spread it across the card. See where I want it to be placed, knowing that my sentiment is going to go here. So I want to keep a lot of it where it can be seen. So just put a bunch there and drag a little bit down to the bottom, just like so. Take a little bit of my glossy accents and put a little dab. I don't have my fine tip applicator with me. Put a little dab of the glossy accents off on this little sheet, and then I'm going to dab it in some places where the string will go and stay. This is clear. It dries clear rather. So just kind of paint it on there. Now don't worry so much about where the sentiment will be, because the hot glue or the glue adhesive is going to hold that down. So just where you think that there would be no other adhesive sitting on top of it. Okay, and that's what I have so far. All right, and then we can add our sentiment. Just gonna go there. I forgot to add. I want to add some height to that, so I'm gonna add some pop dots. Add some pop dots to the back of this sentiment and raise it up just a little bit. Right. Put that right in the center. All right, and then we're going to add the pearls and the seed beads, and then so we can decide now where we want, you know, our flowers to go. Actually, both of them look cute. Just use them both. So go back to the glossy accent or fantastic glaze and glue, i.e. glossy accent, and add a little dab. You can add this directly on too. I just like to make mine in like a little shape. So I'm doing like an L or a corner, just like where I want them to go. A little dab up there, a little dab there. Grab my seed beads and press them in. And they should be dry by now, or very, very close to it. And just make sure that they're flush against that clear glue. I'm just going to add a little bit more here. Actually, I'll put that over here. I'm going to use the rest of this glue on the back of those flowers. And I'm going to use both of the flowers. Worked out perfectly. And then I'm going to take these pearls that I colored earlier with the Prima markers. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and then just place these on the card. So that's what we have so far. Don't throw away that paintbrush and glossy accents just yet. So now we're going to get our trays. Okay. And this is where we will put the black paint. Be careful. Dropped a good gallop of it. It seems as though my black paint has settled a bit. So what I did was just dig in there. The juice was on top. The black paint's at the bottom. So now I have gray juice on my card, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Oh, and this is why I use a protective sheet, because I'm messy. So I'm just adding a little bit of that black paint, and then I have some water in there. and stir it around till it gets to a nice, smooth, flickable consistency. And yes, that is a word. That's the black one. And then we're going to do the same thing with the white paint. Okay, so now we have black and our white paint or gesso. The thing I'm going to do before I start the flicking is to color this butterfly. You can use whatever image, of course, that you're going to use. I'm going to use this butterfly, and I didn't mean color, I meant add some glossy accents to it so it can be pretty shiny when you're putting it on the card. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the glossy accents to the butterfly, plus it'll add some stability on this piece, although it is on cardstock. It'll help hold. So just a little bit of that, make it super shiny. Of course, I learned the hard way that I can't keep it on the same medium that I put the glossy accents on, because guess what? It sticks. Take it off of there, put it on there, let that dry. Alright, so let's get to our flicking process. Okay, get the card back. I'm going to grab my paint brushes, and I'm going to start out with the black one. That's the consistency that you want. Dip my paintbrush in there, tap off the excess, and then I just literally put my hand here and put this one on top and then flick. So I start a little bit off page, and then I'm just hitting my hand. Make these tiny little speckles, which I love. You can go higher for smaller ones or not. Now see how stinking cute that is. Oh my gosh. Alright, now let's do the white paint and do the same thing. So my hands up here, and this is what I'm doing. Just doing this pounding motion. A little bit off. Get all the clunks out first. And then dab it on my hand. This is a little bit thicker than the black, but it's working. Get a little bit more. There we go. Love it. Okay. You can always, when you get done with your black and your whites, you can add a little purple by either getting a purple brush that you had earlier or whatever color, and then taking your lid off, flicking a little bit more. Okay. You can do the same thing with your other color. Not too much, obviously, then you can't read the sentiment. Okay. These to the side. That's that. Now I know my butterfly my butterfly isn't dry, but I'm going to put it on here anyway so we can have a finished product. And then I'm going to put it on with glossy accents, or this, keep saying the same thing, clear glue. So I'll pour it a little bit on there. Take it, I'm going to fold it just a little bit. So I'm going to add a big old glob to the back so it can stay, like so. And then I'm going to put it right there. And there we have it. Super, super cute. I'm afraid that butterfly's going to fall off, but that's the inside. And that's it. Super, super cute card. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Like the video if you like it. It's free to push that button. Thank you guys. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Bye.